Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lisa's Losing It. I'm losing it. I am. Super quick update before we start the topic of the day. Okay. I am on day 2 of hitting 4 hours. Well, the first day was 4 hours and 40 minutes of the APAP machine, and last night was 4 hours and 39 minutes of the APAP machine. I think I found it. I do. Everyone kept saying, turn off the humidity, and the heat was off. So the heat was off, the humidity was off. Okay, great. Um, and it wasn't working. Nothing was happening. It was getting worse. But I sat down and I went through the whole gauge, the whole thing. And it turns out the humidity was set at 2. And even though there was no liquid in there, um, somehow the humidity was set at 2. When I turned off the humidity completely, it was night and day difference. Do I still hate it? With every fiber of my being. When I take it off in the middle of the night, the edge of my nose hurts. Kind of like if you have a cold and you blow your nose too much, and it hurts from being like this. But I made it over 4 hours, 2 nights in a row. So, okay, we're making headway. Yes, we are. Today, we're going to talk about transfer addiction. Now, I've heard this referred to a lot in my research prior to the surgery, and I will 100% own the fact that the psychological evaluation that I did seemed too easy. I did it virtually, and it was just way too easy. Do you know what I mean? She saw me, I saw her, we went through her checklist of stuff, and okay, great, I passed it. Check that off the list. But in reading about addiction, I am very paranoid about addiction, transfer addiction. I grew up in an alcoholic home, okay? And I think I was into my 40s before I kept any kind of alcohol in my house because I didn't ever want to risk becoming an alcoholic after growing up like that, right? I smoked for a very long time, and I obviously ate my emotions. I do that very well, I might add. So I'm very paranoid about the whole transfer addiction thing, okay? And I printed off a few pages here because I wanted to go through these with you guys. And then I wanted to hear your take if you've had the surgery and you feel like you had any kind of transfer addiction or things that you did to prevent you from having transfer addiction. I'm very interested in these stories. I'm very interested in hearing what to do. I live in a very rural area where it is not an option for me to go to support meetings or support groups or anything like that. Okay. I'm pretty sure they have like AA meetings around up here someplace, but I'd have to hunt for them. And when I asked my doctor, who also had the surgery, she stated that there were no support groups for this up here. There used to be a group called TOPS, which I'm sure it stands for something that I have no idea what now. But after COVID, she's not even sure they resurrected the group, Anyway, so this paragraph got me really good. Addiction happens because naturally occurring chemicals, endorphins, in our brain make us feel good after certain activities. We manipulate our feel-good chemicals, and when we experience something fun, have a good workout, or eat something that made us really happy, we get more of them. It's important to find ways to release these chemicals in healthy ways, then we won't keep associating food to feeling good. And I was just going to say, I guess I don't associate food to feeling good, but obviously I do. And my latest thing was I was very, very stressed out, which I'm going to encounter a lot over the next 4 months. And the first thing I did was go to the refrigerator. And I realized what I was doing as I was doing it. And did I stop it? No, I didn't. Even though I acknowledged the fact that this is why I was sticking something in my face, I didn't stop doing it. That's a problem. So if you can no longer do that, I am very much, let me back this up a little bit. I am very much a person that is cause and effect. So I know that if I stick my finger in a light socket, it's going to hurt. So am I going to stick my finger in a light socket? No. I know that if I eat some kind of sugar or something that I'm not supposed to eat, I'm probably going to throw up after the surgery and I'm going to feel absolutely miserable. So, am I going to eat that stuff? No, I'm not. And I don't want to. I actually saw a little video where somebody said, if you've had bariatric surgery and it's that time of the month, get yourself a little piece of dark chocolate and just kind of lick it. And I'm like, that does not solve the problem. First of all, chocolate, while I get it, um, is not the be all end all for your menstrual cycle. And you're just, you're not fixing the problem. Do you know what I mean? You're not fixing the problem. And that is how we ended up here, is because of the multitude of problems. So we don't want to continue that. You're going to hear the air conditioner. I'm really sorry about that. The central air is right here. Anyway. So, I thought I'd read a little bit more of another thing that I found. Addiction transfer, or cross addiction after bariatric surgery, occurs when individuals trade compulsive eating for other compulsive behaviors. There is also strong evidence of a biological reason for cross addiction. Okay. I don't want to trade one compulsive behavior for another compulsive behavior, because I know I have a very addictive personality. I get that. I want to try to fix that also. So, studies show various forms of transfer addiction in up to 30% of patients who have had bariatric surgery. Say what? For these patients, food is no longer being a source of comfort, distraction, reward, or escape. Other behaviors or substances now substitute for eating and can become problematic. So Amazon and I are besties already, and if that becomes more problematic, we're in a lot of trouble. I'm trying to think of what else I could do, or what else I currently do that could become a problem. So yeah, exercise would be a really great thing. Now, do I do it today? Not so much. No. Because it's uncomfortable, because it hurts. I jerked my knee coming out of the chicken coop the other day, and that has hurt, and it's like one step at a time, like I'm 30 years older than I am. There's always a million excuses, but I'm hoping that and I know from previous experience that losing weight makes it easier for me to be more mobile. And so at that point, I'm kind of like, ooh, look at me, I can do this, and I'll go do it. Do I see myself becoming obsessive and compulsive about exercise? Probably not. Okay. Process addictions, such as gambling, shopping, and sex addiction can occur, as well as addictions to alcohol and other drug abuse. In some cases, after a period of initial remission, food addiction can reoccur. Well, I don't drink now. I don't take drugs now. I am so looking forward to getting off the medications that I am on currently now, okay? So, I don't gamble. I've always thought that to be a phenomenal waste of money. So, I'm trying to figure out where this could go, just so that I could throw up the red flags and be aware of it if it starts to occur. Did I mention I'm always forecasting into the future? Some of the risks that show an individual may be affected by transfer addiction include, a history of eating disorders, food addiction, or compulsive eating. I get like a half a point for that, okay? A family history of substance abuse. Regular consumption of alcohol before bariatric surgery. No. History of chronic pain, overuse of narcotics for pain management. No. A history of trauma, especially childhood sexual abuse. There was no sexual abuse. Let's just say it wasn't a great growing up. So again, I'm going to get a half, so I still have standard 2. A history of depression and other mood or anxiety disorders. No. A lack of adequate support or feeling isolated. No. An avoidance of emotions and experiences. Yeah, okay. A history of engaging in self-sabotaging tendencies. Doesn't that seem kind of open-ended to you? I guess, because that's where I'm at, so we'll give that 4. So 4 of those are something that I could potentially, could lead me down the dark path, and I don't want to. If someone is considering having bariatric surgery and has a significant risk of being affected by transfer addiction, it is important for them to take a pause in the preoperative process to address these issues. For someone who is dealing with an active addiction before surgery, they must seek treatment. For someone who is dealing, oh yeah, that was the same sentence. Let's see, it is also recommended that they be clean or sober from the addiction for 1 year or more before they consider moving forward with the procedure. Not applicable. Let's see. There are, check this out, high rates of relapse in the first year of recovery, and a more solid foundation of sobriety is required before taking on a life-altering process such as bariatric surgery. Okay. Again, I'm not, I'm good. Support groups and counseling play an important part in maintaining sobriety. 12-step programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, faith-based groups such as Celebrate Recovery, and self-help groups like Rational Recovery are all options. Therapy with an addiction specialist is also important for the healing process and for relapse prevention before surgery. Okay. Many people ask what to look for to determine if they or someone they love is dealing with addiction. The person dealing with the addiction may deny they have a problem, which just makes me question, am I denying anything? I don't think I am. I mean, I told you the 4 that, are for sure. If they consider themselves to be functional in their lives. I have known a lot of functional alcoholics in my life. They may also deny it if they have a preconceived notion of what an addict looks like. I don't think it's preconceived, but addiction does not discriminate and can happen to anyone. The following are some signs or symptoms of addictive behavior. Are you guys ready? Let's go. A need for more and more of the behavior or substance to achieve the desired effect. Using the substance or engaging in the behavior for longer than intended or in higher amounts than desired. A strong desire to cut back on the behavior, substance, or unsuccessful efforts in doing so. Any social, professional, personal, financial, or legal problems related to the addictive behavior. Other people have made comments or complained about the behavior. The person affected is sneaking around or lying to cover up the behavior and the consequences of it. The person affected is spending more and more time or money to get the substance or engage in the behavior. There are feelings of guilt or shame about the behavior. There is defensiveness or denial when others confront that person about the behavior. And the behavior or the substance becomes one of the main things the person looks forward to. So, in conclusion, if you think you have a problem with transfer addiction, admitting that you are struggling with it is an important first step. Talk to somebody. Okay. I'm not there yet, so I'm not struggling with transfer addiction, but I want to be preemptive with it just because I come from an addictive, childhood. I come from an addictive adulthood as far as food and smoking and, all of that fun stuff. I believe that I have an addictive personality. So based on that alone, I've always said I have an addictive personality. So based on that, from me, it's something that I'm concerned about because I'm going to need to figure out how to deal with stress or sadness or boredom or rage without food. Because, or even exhaustion, okay? If I'm dead dog tired at the end of the night and I'm just like, it's 6 o'clock, I could really go to bed. Instead of going to bed, I'll get something to eat. Phil does it too. I'm not alone in this. I just hold it better with my body than he does. So it's finding different things to do with that. Now, I remember when I was quitting smoking, my doctor told me, she goes, get some of those flavored toothpicks and put those in your mouth. And that will give you the sensation, the oral, the hand-to-mouth sensation. Um, I hate wood in my mouth of any kind. I think we talked about this once before or someplace, but I hate wood. I don't like popsicle sticks. I don't, so that won't work for me. I wonder if they make mint flavored plastic ones. I don't know. But something to replace that hand to mouth. When Phil and I quit smoking, we went through about 6 months of Tootsie Roll obsession. Seriously. It was, the Tootsie Roll took place of the cigarette. Hello? Yes. So that's not an option for obvious reasons. So if anybody has any suggestions, hints, tips, tricks, online support groups, there's a bunch of you that I was unaware have actually had the surgery. So if any of you know of a good online support group, I would love to hear about it. I would love to, get a link for it, any of that fun stuff. I appreciate very much all of the comments. I had some problems with my phone, and I couldn't get to all the comments as they came in last week, but it's all fixed now. So I didn't get a chance to reply to everybody. But I really, really appreciate all of the suggestions and the comments, and with you guys sticking with me through my whining about this APAP machine. We're going to move forward and start working on some other things preemptive to the surgery. It's 2 months out. It is July 20th today, and the surgery is September 21st. I am mastering the APAP machine, and I slept on my back. For the first time that I can ever remember, I slept on my back for 4.5 hours. I don't know how the tube got underneath my back, but it did. But I slept on my back. That was very weird to wake up to that. I normally wake up with my face in the pillow. I'm not gonna lie. It's all good. We got this. We got this. Yes, we do. I purchased 20 containers of bone broth, the last Walmart pickup order that I did, and I put those up in my stock. And thank you very much for the emails. I've received a few different emails that had all of their information. I'm hoping next week, the appointment might be after I normally talk to you, but I'm hoping next week that I can get the pre-op diet and everything from my doctor. I want to see how it compares to what other people have received. But I appreciate getting all that stuff. That's really great information. And I'm also going to hit her up for the timetable on, okay, so there's the pre-op diet, and that's to reduce your fatty liver so it gets out of the way so they can do what they need to do. And then there's the diet that you eat after surgery because you don't want to bust out the stitches, right? And then you progressively move up there, from a liquid diet to a pureed diet to, oh my God, I actually get to chew something. There was a time back in the day, oh my gosh, this was early, like 2020, no, not 2020, 20, the year 2000, thank you, 2001 or 2002. I think it was 2000 actually, where there's something goofy about my heart. It's just goofy, and nobody's really nailed it down. And my arms were going numb bilaterally from my shoulders to my fingertips. And I went through a year worth of tests where literally the last doctor looked at me and went, I don't know what's wrong. And oh my gosh, I was so mad. Anyway, come to find out it was aspartame poisoning. So, but during that process, I went on a liquid diet through the hospital that I was with. I was on it for a good 6 months. And I loved it. It was drinking 5 shakes a day, okay? And I was never hungry. I learned that I was never hungry. I lost an amazing amount of weight, which when I started eating again came right back. But I did learn, with that, about the only thing I missed was salt. You could have hooked me up to a salt lick and I'd have been the happiest woman in the world. But so I'm not really afraid of the liquid diet part of it or, any of that. Having something to chew on is not a prerequisite for me. So I think I'll be fine. we'll see. We'll be walking through all of this with me because we are definitely, as this gets closer to the stuff that I need to do prior to the diet, the pre-op diet, all that stuff, we are definitely going to be doing a day in the life videos. Yes, we are. But those are my questions for today, you guys. I don't want to make this too long because I'm just babbling. But has anybody dealt with addiction, transfer addiction, uh, after the surgery? What kind of things did you run into? How did you combat it? Are you aware of any online support groups for this that you can recommend that you say are good? I appreciate all of this really great information. You guys are fantastic, phenomenal. You have no idea how much I appreciate you and appreciate your support of me along this journey. I'm going to have fun in a year going back and looking at this. Yes, I am. Okay. Okay, everybody. Until next time, have a great day.